Raider Nation, and welcome to the Raider Homer Superfan Show, Episode 7. In this week's episode, I have the Vice President of the Silver and Black of Central Texas, Charlie Crenshaw VI. Now, the Silver and Black of Central Texas has come a long way since we were asked not to come back to the White House because we were too damn rowdy. Thanks in part to me, but not only me. And you know who I'm talking about if you were there in those days. But luckily, we all settled down as we got older. And now, the Silver and Black of Central Texas is a fun and family-friendly environment where all of the Raider Nation can come and watch the games and have some fun. So be sure to check us out on Facebook or stop by if you're ever in Austin. And now, let's take a moment of silence for our beloved brother, Carlos Lopez.
Well, it's about damn time you called, Charlie. It's hard as hell to get you on the phone.
You know, I'm sorry it's been a little difficult lately, man, but I'm thrilled to be on the show finally, and I'm finally at home, man. It feels good to be home.
Yeah. It must be a bitch juggling golf lessons, C6 salsa, and being the vice president of the Silver and Black of Central Texas.
You know, if I didn't love it so much, I wouldn't do it, but I love it, man. It's a lot of work, and I rarely get a day off, but, you know, I love it to death. That's why I'm more than happy to do it.
Well, I know you're always busy, so thanks for calling in, and I appreciate the support.
No, absolutely, man. You got a good thing going, and there's a lot of people that are buzzing about you, so congratulations on the early success, and, you know, I'm looking forward to see where you go from here, man.
Yeah, me too. Hey, you remember when the Alamo City threw that party and I tried to get you on the news?
Yeah, I do recall that, yeah. You were the only one that tried to do it. Thank you.
So you know damn well I'm about to plug C6 Salsa on my channel. So go ahead and tell the nation all about C6 Salsa.
Well, thank you. C6 Salsa is actually a company I started back in early 2016. So we're 3 years into business, and the salsa itself is actually a homemade recipe that my dad taught me how to do when I was maybe 12 years old. And I kind of took his recipe and I kind of ran with it and created multiple flavors and kind of added on to, you know, old flavors and all that stuff. And man, I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would actually start a business, because, you know, I don't know anything about the food business, or I didn't at the time. But you know, life takes funny turns sometimes, man. And I was actually doing stunt work for some films, some TV shows and movies and stuff like that. And I loved it, good money, but you know, I kept getting hurt all the time. And so I had to stop that and go find something else. And enough friends, especially from Silver and Black of Central Texas, believe it or not, finally convinced me. I said, hey man, if you don't start selling your salsa, you're a fool. You're a damn fool, because it's that good. So I actually started delivering it door to door in Austin, taking orders on Facebook for my homemade salsa, and actually driving all over the freaking city trying to get everyone their salsa. And it turned out to be a pretty big hit, and I couldn't really handle the amount of orders anymore. So I hit the brakes. I gathered some investment money because I only had a couple pennies in my pocket at the time. But I got some good investors on board, and we got the business started, and here we are in HEB and about 50 other accounts across the nation.
Well, you've always been a cool dude, so I hope everything continues to work out for you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, me too. You as well, man.
All right, cool. Now let's talk about the Silver and Black of Central Texas. Of course, the Silver and Black of Central Texas came around in 2006. When you, Lucky, and Ian took over the Silver and Black of Central Texas, y'all took it to new heights in 2012. At that point, when y'all three took over, what were y'all's goals for the club?
Well, we kind of gathered, put our heads together, and we all kind of mutually agreed that what we wanted to do with the club was to create, we wanted to grow it as large as we could. I mean, the sky's the limit for how big we can grow this thing, and even if we need multiple locations in the club, you know, if we get to a point where we're filling up one restaurant, we can actually move to other locations, have kind of a double location deal, which would be really cool, but we're not quite there yet. But we wanted to also create a family-friendly atmosphere, and that's big to us. You know, we don't ever want to count out any Raider fans. And the kids are wonderful in our club, and they love the Raiders just as much as their parents do, and we never want to say, hey, you can't come on Sunday because you're too young. No, man, if they bleed silver and black like the rest of us, we want them all to be there regardless of what age they are. So family-friendly atmosphere was big, and we also wanted to beef up our raffles and stuff like that. So every game, every home game, not home game, but every game day, I should say, we always have cool raffles full of, signed merchandise. We have signed jerseys, rookie cards. It's a whole table full of silver and black stuff, and it's a big hit. We're doing well, and it just, every fan base has some fair weather fans, unfortunately. So last season was kind of tough. We had a lot of people that kind of weren't showing up, but our diehards showed up every game, of course. But, once Gruden gets this thing back on track, which he's going to do, we're gonna see this thing explode again. We're gonna get back to where we were in 2016 as a club, because that was insane. You were at those games, man, and we have packed that place full of almost 250 Raider fans a game. It was unbelievable.
Well, they'll all be back this year, that's for sure.
Yeah,
you might need two places now to watch the game at.
We always kind of anticipated that because right now we're at Big Daddy still. We're kind of waiting to see what happens with Big Daddies, and but yeah, like I said, when we're winning, we're at capacity at that place. There's actually some people that had to walk off because they couldn't park anywhere, and B, they couldn't find anywhere to sit. So we might need two locations, which would be a good problem to have. I mean, the more the merrier, like I said.
I'll go with that, but I'm hoping for a place down south though. So
yeah,
let's work on that.
There's plenty of spots in South Austin. South Austin's a really cool area, full of businesses that are probably would bend over backwards for our support. So we'll wait to see what happens, man. So we're working on it right now, but big things coming in the future.
Cool. All right, now in 2012, the club became officially recognized. What was that process like?
Well, to be honest, Ian Lynch was our vice president at the time. He was kind of in charge of getting a hold of Morris Bradshaw, who's kind of he does the website and the kind of the booster clubs for. He's the one that officially recognizes Raider booster clubs, and his office is right there in Alameda. So he's a little hard to get a hold of, just like me sometimes. But finally, Ian Lynch, our former vice president, who we still love to death, he finally got a hold of Morris Bradshaw and just kind of sent him some photos of our club and like kind of the stuff that we do on the side as a club for charities and stuff like that, and our raffles and our membership and all that good stuff, our T-shirts, and just our overall love for the nation, man. And so this guy, Morris Bradshaw, just finally said, you know what, y'all are the real deal. I'm officially recognizing y'all as a booster club. I'm putting you on the website. And then after this guy put us on the official Raiders website, it was so awesome to sit back and watch the amount that our club grew after that, week by week. And it was just people pouring into Big Daddy saying, I found out about y'all on the Raiders official website. So that's a huge perk that comes from being officially recognized as a booster club. So Morris Bradshaw was really cool about that.
Yeah, it got so big you couldn't even find me in the picture anymore, in the group pictures.
I know, man. That we had to do a panoramic picture because usually most of the time when we first started the club is like we only needed like an iPhone camera to take one little picture, but now it's like we have to take a whole panoramic photo because we're so damn big, which is awesome, man.
Yeah, man, it was cool. But then again, it was family friendly, so that's where I had a hard time. But I'm going to behave myself, I promise. I'm going to behave myself.
Man, there are some weeks where, especially when we're just beating the hell out of Denver. We're beating the hell out of Denver, we're beating the hell out of KC, something like that, and we're all, a few beers deep. There comes a time or two where I want to get up on the table and start rocking and start yelling crap, but I got to mind the kids that are there, and I got to maintain a level of professionalism. But no, man, I'm right there with you. Sometimes I feel like going nuts too.
Hell yeah, you do maintain that level of professional, man. That's you always maintain your composure, man.
That's right. Yeah, thank you.
All right, cool. Well, the Raider Nation is all about giving back, and you've talked about this briefly, but go ahead and tell the nation how the SBCT gives back to the community.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing we've done for the past several years is we always have a toy drive during the holidays. It's usually we start in late November and it goes all the way till the 20th of December, and it's for Toys for Tots, and the Marine Corps helps us out with that. And I mean, like the first year we did it was maybe 5 years ago, and we maybe have got like a total of 50 pounds of toys. And every year since, I think last season, even though our club wasn't as big as it was in 2016, but last season we were able to accumulate, I think it was 500 pounds of toys.
Damn.
And so, we loaded these boxes up. The Toys for Tots actually donates the boxes to you for free, and it's your job after that to kind of get everyone to fill them up. And our members, I cannot say enough about the membership that we have within SBCT and how generous and giving everyone is to our community and our club. And these members did a hell of a job this past season. 500 pounds of toys, all going to less fortunate kiddos in here, Central Texas. So anything we can do just to, brighten the future of some of these kids is what we're after. And speaking of helping kids out, we also do, every year we do a fundraiser for St. Jude's Walk for Childhood Cancer Research. And every year we'll get about 50 of our members there, and we'll all donate money. And I think last year we were able to get about $2,500 or $3,000 donated to St. Jude. That all goes toward childhood cancer research, which is fantastic. And what's our other one that we do? What's our other charity? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Well, we do the toy drive, we do the walk, and then the food drive.
Oh yeah, the food drive absolutely. Our secretary Brian Kornstrom actually does the food drive. He actually goes to the grocery store and gets a bunch of groceries and takes them to less fortunate families around the Austin area. So, I think the first year we did it, we were able to kind of brighten the holidays for maybe, I think it was 5 families. And, we're working on it. I think last year we did maybe 15 families, if I'm not mistaken. So, like I said, any time the club can get together and help people out, especially within our own little community down here in Texas. That's why we do it, man. And I think that all Raider booster clubs that I've come across anyway, they do the same thing. They help out their communities, and a lot of people out there that aren't Raider fans, they see us as like these bad Raider fans that don't do anything but stuff for themselves. But that's so far from the truth. We actually like to get together and help out our community, regardless of what any Denver or KC fan says.
Man, that's good, dude. I mean, if that doesn't make you proud, I don't know what will. I love being a part of the Raider Nation, and that's cool that that the Raider Nation gives back so much.
It does, and we're only getting started. And so I think that in the years to come, especially when our team is rocking and rolling again, which Gruden's going to do, I can't reiterate that enough. I just fully believe in the guy, man. I love what he's doing so far. We're going to continue. We're going to go to other charities too. There might be a day where we're kind of giving back to 10 different charities. We'll see. I'm looking forward to the future.
Hey man, so anytime, we can promote that on the channel, let's do it,
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that.
All right, cool. Well, we've talked about the history of the SBCT and how we do things, but let's talk about the history of Raider Charlie. All right. What made you become such a diehard Raider fan?
Well, believe it or not, a lot of people don't know this about me. I was actually born in Dallas, Texas. So when people find that out, they instantly say, "Oh, you got to be a Cowboys fan, right?"
Hell no.
It's no questions asked. But here's my childhood was a little interesting. I born in Dallas. We quickly moved to Mesquite, and then we moved back down to Austin. And when I was about 5 years old, I already liked baseball a lot. And I started to like football. I like to watch it, the Longhorns play when my dad would watch them. And I wanted to start watching professional football because, I wanted to see the best of the best play. And my dad just never really cared much about pro football. He's like, I don't really care. I just want to watch the UT games. And so I looked at my mom and I said, "Hey, do you have a favorite football team? A professional?" And she goes, "Yeah." And my mom was born and raised in Oakland, California.
That's badass.
In 1957. And so the Raiders started 3 years after she was born. So she saw it all. She saw it all. She was in the Coliseum as a kid. She remembers those games, going there with my grandma, because mom's dad died when she was a little baby, but my grandma and my mom would go to the Coliseum and watch those games. So when I looked at my mom when I was about 5 years old and I said, "Who's your favorite football team?" She looked at me and she actually said, "The Raiders." And I was like, "Wow, who are they?" So she threw it on a Raider game, man, and I just fell in love with it. I love the colors. I love the owner that everyone was talking about. I was like, "Who the hell is this Al Davis dude everyone's talking about?" It's kind of
that Maverick.
She taught me the history of Al Davis. I fell in love with him. I fell in love with the colors, just the glory of it, the history, the tradition, the smash mouth, dirty ass football that we are known for. And I never looked back. I just from that moment on, the Raiders were my team. And I even grew up through the '90s when the Cowboys were winning everything.
Yeah.
And I still not at one point considered, let's switch over to Dallas. Hell no, I was sticking with my Raiders.
Win, lose, or tie. I'm a Raider till I die, right?
Exactly. I can't. I'm never gonna. I don't care, man. I'm never gonna jump ship off this thing. Like you said, 0-16 or whatever. I'm there, man. It's Raider Nation.
Well, I'll tell you what. Everybody's gonna be trying to jump back on the ship, in 2019.
Yeah, we've got some interesting fans out there, man. Especially those ones that are already screaming for Gruden's head. I can't wait till he proves all these people wrong.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Yep, and it's gonna happen.
All right, so who's your favorite Raider of all time?
That's easy, absolutely easy. His name is Jack Tatum.
The heavy hitter, huh?
Yep, Jack Tatum. And the reason I like small athletes, man, because I'm 5'9". I'm a 5'9" white guy, so. I like smaller athletes that highly succeed like that, and especially guys like him that were told their entire careers, from high school on up, that they were too small to play the game. Like I look at a guy like Jack Tatum or Doug Flutie, even Wayne Crepet, even this Beasley kid that just left Dallas. He's got going to Buffalo, but Cole Beasley is a little badass too. I just like little athletes that flourish, man. And so I look at Jack Tatum, who is always told his entire career, you're too small to play, you're never going to make it to the next level. He just took those remarks from people and told them to shove it and succeeded on every level. And not only that, but he's now still to this day known as one of the most feared defenders of all time. So that's why I just freaking love that dude, man. God rest his soul.
See, I was hoping Carl Joseph could, fill in his shoes, take that role in this new team. He's a smaller guy. I always thought that was cool.
Yeah, Carl Joseph, I know he's having a little trouble staying healthy, but I think we'll see what happens with old Carl. I wish him nothing but the best.
All right, well, cool. What does being part of the Raider Nation mean to you?
Well, like we always say, man, I've come across so many other fan bases and what they do as a fan base or as booster clubs, and it's only about the game to those people. Like during the off season, none of them talk to each other. During the weeks when there's no football on, none of them talk to each other. They only get together for games, and even during games, they kind of just keep to themselves. They just watch the games. They don't really talk to each other, and I'm serious about that. Us, the Raider Nation, it's more than just football. Of course, football is there. We're always going to be that's going to be the main glue that holds us all together. But more than that, we're a family, dude. Like you and so many other guys and girls in our club, they'd give me the shirt off their back if I needed it. If I were broken down in South Austin and they were up in Round Rock or up north, like further north, they would come and they would help me out at the drop of a hat.
Absolutely,
it's family what we got going here. And during the off season or during the week during the seasons, like all of us we're hanging out. We're calling each other. We're texting each other. We're going to each other's houses for beers and for dinners. And I mean, we're a family, dude. So that's what to me is another cool little aspect of being a part of the Raider Nation. And dude, I mean, even if you go to, I hate to keep rambling here, but
go ahead.
I remember my first time visiting Oakland and going to the Coliseum. I didn't really know what to expect. I was like this kid from Austin who I was like, man, I hope these people are nice to me. And I got there, and I'm nervous. I'm like walking off the BART, and I go through that big metal, cage tunnel right there that goes to the stadium.
Yeah.
I kind of stepped down toward all the tailgates. First one I walk up to, I'm nervous as hell, and I'm just like, well, here we go. Let's see what happens. These people kind of looked at me, and they didn't recognize me and said, hey, who are y'all? And I said, oh, we're from Austin, Texas. We're here to see the Raiders. We're big Raider fans. And dude, they treated us like we were royalty. You would have thought they just met the president of the United States. They just went nuts about the fact that we came all the way there from Texas. They bought all of our drinks for us. They gave us plates of like chicken wings and all this barbecue and stuff. And they just welcomed us in, man. It was like. And then I remember calling my mom afterward, who wasn't there. I called her in Austin, and she's like, "Yeah, how was your first Raider game?" And I had goosebumps. I was ecstatic. I was like, it was the best experience I could have ever imagined and more. And that was because of the Raider Nation in Oakland, how just cool all these guys and girls are. So it's just fun to be a part of. It really is. It gives me goosebumps talking about it, damn it.
I fell in love with Oakland when I went there. The super fans were cool as hell, and just, the everyday fans were cool as hell, too. It was a blast. I can't wait to go back this year.
Yep, absolutely. And like you said, whoever's listening to this right now, if you're from another state, if you're from Florida, if you're from New Jersey, wherever, you're part of the Raider Nation, trust me, you've got to go see a game for yourself if you haven't. Because, like I said, you're not going to meet one person there that's going to say, you're not a part of this tailgate, go away. They're going to look at you and say, hey, get over here. We're going to give you a tour. We're going to introduce you to everyone. You're not going to pay for a drink all day, and we're going to make you. The food there is badass. The food there at the tailgate is second to none. So you got that going for you too.
Like I said, I loved it.
Yep, me too.
All right, now you've touched on this a little bit, but go ahead and tell everyone how you're feeling about Gruden and Mayock's first offseason together.
I love it. Of course, when somebody else takes over and you got a whole new leadership. Of course, the first, few moves, a couple of them might be pretty confusing. Yeah, I know the Mac thing didn't happen during the offseason for this year, but, when that confused me. I was like, why? What happened there, But I never questioned it. I have full faith in John Gruden and what he's doing. And I got a feeling that we may look at this Mac trade, and mark my words, we might say that's one of the smartest things a guy's ever done.
Well,
we all miss Khalil Mack. Don't get me wrong; he's a great athlete, one of the best in the business. But watch what John Gruden does. I think people are going to be very pleasantly surprised about our draft picks, about what Gruden's going to do from here on out. And I can't say it enough. I would never sit there and question the process or the strategies of John freaking Gruden. There's a reason why he's the best in the business, and he's going to prove himself. Mark my words. I'm all in. All my chips are in the middle of the table. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that $90 million signed pretty much almost all of our free agents, the big-name free agents this year. So, yep. He had the foresight to know that. And now, Chicago's restructuring Mac's contract. So I think it was a perfect move.
I do, too. And there's actually, I forget which analytical group it was, but there's a bunch of those nerds that sit down and they kind of crunch numbers as far as trades and draft picks and draft stocks and all that stuff. And they just released a statement saying that the number one smartest move made in the last several years is the trade of Khalil Mack. And that's based on their analytics.
Yeah, I saw that article. Yeah.
You saw that? Yeah. So I can't get into that too much because I'm not really experienced with number crunching as far as, this kind of stuff. But it was interesting to read that. These are coming from a bunch of guys that just, all they do is sit there and crunch numbers. Said, watch, the trade of Khalil Mack is going to end up being one of the smartest trades in sports history.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, maybe it's not going to turn out to be that freaking great, but I still think that Gruden is up to something, and I can't wait to, like I said, I can't wait to see him just prove all of these people wrong that are after, like, oh, we got to fire him. We got to fire him right now.
That shit was annoying.
I'm like, well, you guys are on your couches saying that you know better than John Gruden. It's just nuts.
But a lot of them already flipped, though. That's the funny part. That's what I mean. The club, it was hurting in 2018 as far as attendance, but you watch. It's going to be packed now in 2019.
It's going to be awesome. You just watch. Gruden's going to flip it. It's going to be badass all over again.
All right, well, how do you see them working their first draft out?
Ooh, man. like I said, I don't know much better than Gruden, but I assume if I had to guess, we're going to take some defense, and I wouldn't be surprised if he, we're down to what? We're down to Derek Carr, and is Peterman still on the team, or do we
I
really
think Peterman's still there. No, I think Peterman's still there.
Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if we took a quarterback in one of the mid rounds, and we're going to pick up another running back probably. I would hate to see for any of our current running backs to go, but there's a couple that just kind of been lackluster the past couple of years. But we need another good running back. We need some defense though, so I think Gruden's going to shock. Gruden's probably going to shock some people by who he picks. He's just like that. He likes to surprise people.
Would you see him moving forward or moving back if he were to move out of that 4th overall spot?
Interesting. What do you think? I would probably back.
Oh, that's what I would hope. I would hope actually he trades out and picks up a first round in 2020. That way, that 5-year window on those first round picks starts in 2020 in Vegas. That's kind of what I was hoping. But then again, with this free agency and this run they've had, it looks like they're trying to win this year. So they may. I don't know. I've heard some reports that they may move up. Because nobody in the first 3 really needs a quarterback. Right. So unless the Giants leapfrogged us, I don't know.
Yeah, and like I said, nothing would surprise me with Gruden, man. You're right when you say that. I think he's going for it this year, kind of like the L.A. Rams did last year. They accumulated a team because they wanted to go for it, and now next season. And I think Gruden wants to do that, especially for the fans of Oakland, seeing that this might just be our last season there in 2019. So Gruden, I think, is going to go all out, man. I mean, he's going for it this year. He wants to give the people of Oakland one last, at least a deep run in the playoffs. I'd like to see another Super Bowl in Oakland, but let's kind of manage that expectation real quick and just say that I think he at least wants to have one more deep run in the playoffs for the people of Oakland, which would be great.
Yeah, it would be. They deserve it, man. They they worked their ass off. The Superfans worked their asses off, promoting and keeping the Raider Nation together in the off season. It's fucking cool to see. So I hope they get.
There's no fans quite like Raider fans, man. If there were any other fan base that I'd say is probably just as loyal, I got to hand it to Cleveland Browns fans, man, because they've been not just the laughing stock of football, but the laughing stock of all sports that exist for the longest time, and they still sell that damn stadium out. It's unbelievable, but I put our fans right up there with that amount of loyalty. There's nothing like a Raider fan, man.
Oh yeah, Raider Nation for life.
Yep, that's right.
All right, well, any final thoughts or anything you'd like to promote before we head out?
Yeah, if anybody listening is ever around the Austin area, any surrounding parts, or just in Central Texas in general, please visit our Facebook page, get on the Raider website, see where we're currently located. Like I said, we're trying to see what happens with Big Daddies. There's a few little wrinkles we have to iron out with that situation, but that's another story. But please don't hesitate to come stop in Austin and check out the Silver and Black of Central Texas. Like any other Raider fan, or any other Raider club, rather, we will welcome you in with open arms. Bring the family, bring the kiddos, and we'll give you a tour of the place. We'll introduce you to people. You can join in on the raffle.
And you can meet me.
Yeah, you can meet. Exactly. And it's a fun time, and we welcome everyone. So keep that in mind. And next time you're at HEB or anywhere like that, pick up a jar of Crenshaw C6 salsa, or visit our website at www.crenshawc6salsa.com.
That's awesome. All right, thanks, Charlie, man. I look forward to hearing from you in future episodes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And like I said, congrats on your early success. And I really think this thing is going to grow some serious legs. And you're going to be running here pretty soon, man. So congrats, and I'll be talking to you in the future.
I appreciate it, bro.
All right, man. I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.